Thank you so much. I'm really, really glad to be here with you. And I want to thank first Master Lechmanan for the invitation, for all the wonderful, wonderful love that you are covering me, and you are offering me so much love and so much welcome. I feel so much welcome. Actually, Kuala Lumpur is my starting point with PSSM. It's my home also for PSSM, because that's where I came here in 2019. I came for business, and that was amazing because I felt I was already a meditator for a long time, and I felt like meditating in a group. And I said, "What I would love to find a group where I could meditate." And then I Googled, and to three people, three whatever organizations, only one answer, and that was our master. Can you hear me? Is that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll come closer. And only one person with our master here answered to me. And after that, I said, "Yeah, wow, that's lovely." He explained me what it's about on the phone. He said, "I'll come and pick you up from the hotel, and I will go to the center to visit our center." After that, invited to his home and met his wonderful wife, and I felt like in a dream. I didn't ever believe that someone and I could be so welcome in this city, which is huge. For me, it's the proportions are so different with my little country that is very tiny. So and after that, introduced me to PSSM, show me flyers and books and magazine, and then talked about about Patrici's teachings and all other things, the way he healed and his journey. I was thrilled. Yeah, but for me, it was somehow okay. That's really nice. That's really interesting. And I meditated with these people. That was absolutely fantastic to meet these people. I never ever thought that I'll move on with the same movement. Never ever. And even now, I'm just feeling I'm shivering that, because I never felt that I'll move on. We kept in touch by mail, and we called each other. And Master Lichman always said that you really have to meet Patricia. You really have to. I said, yeah, maybe next year if I'm coming. Yeah, I didn't have that in my plans, but the universe thought differently for me. And if I'm here, it's not by accident. Nothing is by accident. There is no coincidence. That's my strong belief. And if you are here, and I'm really glad to have you here, you are not by accident. It's, again, there is no coincidence. If you are here, is that you are meant to be here, and your willingness, or maybe just by pure curiosity, but you were meant to be here. And if I'm here, it's also that I was meant to be here. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you. End of February, beginning of March, came to KL again with business. I met again my PSSM friends, and then we went to India to meet Patrici. That was again another. People asking me after that, especially my brother, he said, how you could imagine just going there? You didn't know those people. You didn't. I felt such a peace inside. And I felt I never had any fear of not knowing you or not knowing where I was going. Because when I meditated on that, I felt such a peace, such an easiness. And later on, somehow, as if something was pushing me, something was like, move there. That a fantastic feeling that I had, like I had a longing for something, and yeah, I'm going. And then I went there. I met Patrici, and so on. And I will, well, with another occasion, I will tell you more about my story and my journey. And what I wanted to say, that my journey with PSSM, which became, in the meantime, my spiritual family, and I know that it will always be. I had other spiritual masters before. I had other inspiring monks, and I learned from everywhere, and that's also me. I love learning. I'm open to learning, and I try to find what I can learn. And I move on, as we all do. But with PSSM, I know, and I have this conviction that is inside, that it will always be my spiritual family. And Patrici, that I met, and we spent 3 days. Well, I was in the beginning, he was like, "Why are you here?" I got scared, and I said, "Sir, I would like to learn from you. What do you want to learn?" And I didn't know what, but I was shy and I didn't know what to answer. He said, "Okay, but then you have to meditate." I said, "I'm already meditating, but with us." Okay. And it was, yeah, everything started there. And I spent 3 full days with him and with his team, moving from different places. We're giving, different meetings. And from that very moment, that was in the beginning of pandemics, I was somehow very lucky that a couple of days when I left India, that was the first lockdown, and the first lockdown also in Europe. And that was really, I was blessed. Now I realized people, well, my people are saying that you were very lucky. I think that's a blessing. I was blessed to meet him, to meet you, you are really the channel, and I know I will always be. Ever since my journey continued, I have become, ever since, not only in this, well, it's a short period of time, I've become personal development coach, certified. That's not my profession. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor, even though I come from a family with many doctors, and I've been somehow in this perspective. But then a mentor. Currently, I'm giving meditation classes. I'm running meditation classes at my institution, which is a European Union institution dealing with financing research. We finance research, especially in science, and in some other branches, but we are focused more on science. And in 2020, I asked my director, "Sir, do you think that people are so scared? There was so much anxiety. Do you think I could run meditation classes?" That was, I've chosen to give 3 days a week in the beginning of the program, through Teams and through, well, online, because that was everything went online. And he was very positive. He said, "Yeah, let's see, it may help," because people were so anxious. People were dying not because of COVID, they were dying because of anxiety. And then that it was so much. And he was like, okay, I'll let you do. And 3 times a week, for 40 minutes, I was running meditation classes. I was guiding and with music, because with the beginners, it worked better than silent meditation. And then, currently, that was then, it helped. We had many people, and currently I'm running also meditation and inspiration classes. We call them inspiration, but it's wisdom. I cannot, in a government, it's a government structure. I cannot talk about wisdom. Well, at least not in Europe. And let's face it, what I'm giving is wisdom. And this what we learn and what I learn from you and then from others. Because if I come here, it's not to teach you anything. You all know that. I'm also learning from you, and it's also learning about myself. And I'm learning from you. It's sharing, and one of the pillars of PSSM is sharing. I share with you my experience. I share with you some of my knowledge, but you know others, and you will share, and you I learn from you back. That's one of our pillars. So so currently what I'm doing, I'm running twice a week a radio program, a satellite program of inspiration and meditation. 40 minutes meditation and 10 minutes inspiration, which is wisdom. I tackle a topic, and actually now we take a topic that I develop longer time, and that's one of the things that I'm also doing. Giving conferences also with PSSM quite a lot. Last year I went to the US for the mega meditation in Texas, in Dallas, with Pari Patri, who was, well, she led that, and in other groups, UK, PSSM UK, PSSM Germany. I'm running also in French, because French is my own language. French in French classes, but we don't have many, because the thing is that it's mostly Indian or from Indian origin that are joining. When I talked to Patrici, he was like, okay, I want you, when you go back to your home country, I want you to spread meditation, which it was already somehow in my mind. And ever since, that's what I tried. But what I tried most was to somehow to teach meditation to Europeans or non-Indians and non-meditation, because in my innocence, I thought that every Indian is a meditator, and every Indian is, all Indians are vegetarian, which is far from being the case. It's far from being the case. And then I realized when I went to the UK that was really not the case. I met many Indians living there also. There are many IT professionals working in Belgium, in the Netherlands, in Germany, and in France also, more and more also coming to France. And I realized that no, so maybe also, well, okay, we have our Indian communities, but also what that was my point was to reach other people. And through my institution, I reach only Europeans. I mean, it's in a European Union institution, and sometimes I have in my class 100 people. 102, that was last time, because you can see how many people were joining. I'm thrilled to see that people join, and more. And little by little, I'm also talking more and more about being vegetarian. Anyway, we tackle many topics, but this evening topic, what I proposed several, but that was one of the favorite topics, was detachment. What detachment? So let's talk about detachment. It's a very dear topic to me, because I used to be a person that I attach very easily and emotionally. So let's turn it the other way round, attachment. So I will try to talk about what is attachment really, and how to detach, and mostly why we have to detach, and detachment of what. So let's start with attachment. Is anyone here who is fully aware of being attached to something? It could be physical attachment. Actually, we have 3 types of attachment: physically, emotionally, and mentally. And they come hand in hand. I mean, one trigger the others, and all the others. It's a chain. But it's anyone here, you answer if you want, who is aware that is attached to something or to someone or to a substance or to food or to work or whatever attachment may be. So, are you aware? Yes, I believe that we are aware. We are aware because, why are we aware? Because at a certain point is sufferance behind. And it's not, maybe not, we are not really suffering, but some people go that far that they are suffering. And it can go very far. That far that it's auto-destruction. We distract ourselves. We are not anymore, and we are not what we would like to be. And we are not, sometimes we are not even real real humans. I have cases, and I'm talking from experience, not myself, but I have a case in my family. So that's therefore this subject is so important, that comes first with awareness. We have to be aware that this is something that, well, it bothers me. I'm not feeling well physically, mentally, emotionally. I get sick, and I go through self-destruction. First comes with awareness. That's why I'm asking, are you aware? Some people are not even aware. Or what happens? They deny. They may be aware, but it's somehow some kind of mechanism that gives them some pleasure. And of course, after that they fall. It's pleasure, and then again, that they put a wall, they put a capsule around, and they deny having a problem. They deny having that type of attachment. So let us identify these three types of attachment. Well, the first one would be physical. Chemicals. It could be food. Food gives you that pleasure. Then it's emotional attachment. We get emotionally attached by of something, of someone, that we are so attached to an object, to whatever may become a passion. Emotional attachment is also we get very much aware, because you really suffer when it takes back. Then is mental. What is mental attachment? Thoughts. I'm thinking of whatever example I may take. Let's say sugar. I'm thinking of that sugary. Wow, I love it. I really love it, and I feel like having it. And then you take it into your blood. Emotionally, you get, wow, it's the pleasure. The level of pleasure increases. And the level of, well, among you, I believe there are some professionals in the medical field, and they know when we get something that we like, the same with the addiction to phone, the level of the dopamine, which is one of the chemicals in the body, increases. And increasing to a certain level, we feel happy, and then it drops. And then we feel the need to take again and again and again, because we want that arousal. We want to have back that level of pleasure that we had in that moment. And this is valid for many things. For many, if we think around us, there are so many things to which we can get attached. I'm having in my coaching few young boys that it's very difficult to work with them because they are teenagers and they are not only attached, they are addicted. Attachment, it's a level maybe a little bit down, but then it's addiction, a real addiction to gaming. Maybe there are some people who will in this audience who like gaming, to games. And these young boys, I don't know why boys, girls are maybe less, or maybe not at all, because I haven't come across, but these boys would spend day and night gaming. And they don't eat, they don't drink, they don't sleep. The level of addiction is so high that really it goes into self-destruction. They, of course, definitely, they can't cope with school because they are too tired. They go to school because parents push them. They are always sleeping during classes. So where are we heading to? And so yeah, I tried first to make them realize what is that there is really an addiction, because there is an explanation with the chemicals that are running in the body, and that they want again and again and again and again. But it's very hard, especially with very young people, especially with teenagers, boys. So yeah, that's another. That's one of the dependencies that we can have, but this may go very far. Some of them, they really get very, very sick. So this is the mechanism. These are the three types. This is the mechanism. This is really what is happening, because we want that substance, we want that sugar, we want that gaming, that stimulation. It's a brain stimulation. Some people are what we call workaholic. They work, they work, they work, they work. They don't do anything else than working, and they work over time. And again, that's also something that we really get dependent on working. We don't see anything else. We find a meaning there, but it goes too far. And there is a reward. Definitely, there is a reward, and that reward help them again to keep that level of substances that is called dopamine, which is a hormone that we secrete when we get the level of pleasure. But then you get tired and you stop, and then it drops, and you want again, and that's the way it goes. That's actually the mechanism. So this is about attachment. These types of attachment. This is the mechanism. That's what is happening. The first step would be to become awareness. And then what is the consequence, and how to get out of it? The consequence is maybe destructive. That the body gets sick. Let's say sugar, or some, maybe less in your country, but in my country, especially young people, but also at any age, drink alcohol. And that was first, it was part of the culture. Like, for example, in France, and now more and more in Germany, because they produce wine, that was part of the culture. I remember my grandparents were taking just a little bit of wine, but mostly it was a little bit sweet. It was in between, not really much alcohol, but that was part of the culture, to take that wine with food. Nowadays, people take it for pleasure and for leisure, and then the more you take that alcohol, the more you become dependent on that. And first is just, okay, I need to relax. That's true that it relaxes, You take a glass of wine and it relaxes. But is that a way? Then you say, oh, I might take another one. And like this, and also in the company, sometimes husband and wife, sometimes with friends. And friends come over, we cook dinner, but we drink wine. Sometimes it's like I see people drinking, well, let's say 4 people are drinking 4 bottles of wine. And that's, well, nothing, somehow nothing wrong, I would say. Let's say we are very much indulgent. If this is once in a while, but if this becomes a custom, and this is, and if this, it's a way to escape your worries, if it's a way to relax, to get that well-deserved relaxation by the end of the day, I think that is not really quite good. It's not good because that level of alcohol in the blood, it has been proven that becomes toxic to the body. There is toxicity. Same with cigarettes. Same with many other. I don't know here, but in Europe, like young people, students take a lot of drugs, take a lot of smoking, whatever weed it is. And of course, that's also very social, that they think that this is a social activity. Is it really? I never blame them, but I try to make them understand that at long term, it destroys the neurons, the cells in the brain. I've seen studies done because as I work for an institution where we have projects for financing. They request financing. I've seen a couple of projects done research on what is happening on the brain with the brain, what is happening with when a long-term drug user, what is actually happening structurally and functionally, and it's literally so toxic that the brain is damaged little by little, and many other structures in the body, especially the brain cells. So these are the consequences. But how do we get out of it? In case we have it, well, anyone can have it. Anyone. I was very much, I would say, addicted, I would say, to sports. I played so much, and I'm a badminton player. Well, now I play much less, but too much was too much. I damaged my knee, my right knee, and I healed myself through Reiki. I practiced Reiki on my knee, and of course, I did the necessary things that I had to slow down because it was too much, and I had to do my workouts every day, whatever, no matter what. It could be fire and anything, and water, floods or whatever. I had to have my workouts because it is actually an addiction. It is, because when you work out, you also release these good hormones that makes you feel good. But again, too much is too much. That was an awareness that with the awareness that came. The awareness was already there, but I did not stop. And then the body puts a halt. And sometimes life sets you a barrier. And that's what actually happened to me, and it happened to many other people, because I was very much interested in this subject. And I inquired people, what made you put a hold, stop that kind of addiction or dependency. They said, yeah, I got sick. So life, body, through your mind, or whatever suffering, that's what actually, that's the common denominator of everything. It's sufferance. You suffer. And what is the remedy for suffering? So guess what it is? That was the remedy for me, and what I also suggested others: meditation. Through meditation, that was really, I don't even know how to call it. That was the only practice, the only thing in this world that worked for me in everything. And now, little by little, I come to detachment, because through meditation, I got the awareness first that I'm not okay. Through meditation, I got also the willingness, I would say, the willingness that I have to do something. And through meditation, because we don't have to stay there, we may have the willingness, but then we have to act. We have to do something. And through meditation, meditation helped me also to act, to get that strength from inside and say, hey, now it's there, it's time to do something. Of course, you have to know what to do and how to do it. But then it's life. I mean, it's your own experience. Sometimes neither doctors, neither so white people who are very wise or whatever, neither parents, nobody tells you, then you have to make your own experience to see what suits you best, what would be. And again, dear friends, well, you can hear all the knowledge and all the advice from everywhere, but it's you and only you who make the decision for yourself. And what to do, again, you find that wisdom inside. I suggested to many people that, but there was also another case. They say, what if there is nothing that we can do? And there is the case. I have a little story, a very short story that I read. I read a couple of days ago. It just popped up like that, which is again not a coincidence. Two ladies were in the same train. One was very joyful, the other one was very sad. And then they start chatting. And the sad lady said, oh, it's so nice to be with someone who is so joyful, and it's really, you cheer me up because I'm really having such a sadness inside, such a sorrow. It's a grief, actually. And yet, and the other, the joyful lady asked, why is it so? Because I have a disabled child. It's a handicapped child. And there is nothing I have to do. I'm so, because all my hope and I've done so much for this child and this handicap. It's going to be with me and somehow a weight on my shoulders all my life. The other lady smiled, didn't say anything. And then said, yeah, I understand you. And the sad lady said, no, you can't understand me. You can't understand me. You are kind, but you cannot understand my suffering. I suffer, and you may believe me, but you don't understand what is there inside. Nothing happened. They went out, and the sad lady found later on, they took each one their own way, and then she found a little piece of paper that was left by the joyful lady, who wrote a little word. He said, "I have 3 disabled children, and I understand your sorrow and your grief 3 times more." But she didn't say anything. But I understood that there was there. Then even now, when I remember, that was so profound. And I understand you 3 times more. I understand your sorrow and your grief 3 times more. But as there is nothing I can do, I just accept it. So, dear friends, so when there is nothing we can do, acceptance. Easy to say, but to accept something that is in your mind the unacceptable, something that you have already created in your vision, it's very difficult. And now I'm going to share with you also my story. It's not my own, it's my brother, who is having a grown-up child, 30 years old, brilliant at school. He was, from the very beginning, he graduated as a medical doctor, practitioner, absolutely brilliant. At the age of 26, he started behaving in a very strange way. They thought that he was taking drugs, but he was not. Later on, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, emotional schizophrenia, which is, he's living in 2 parallel worlds, talking to you a little bit and then turning back and quarreling and talking to his crew. And he's unable to do anything. He's not capable of working. All he does, he's got a treatment, but in spite of the treatment, the sickness is now evolving. So he's degrading. I mean, he's not anymore himself, and it's very sad to see that. It's my brother and my sister-in-law's only child, as he was always brilliant and a nice boy, a beautiful boy, and they put all their hopes or their unfulfilled, I would say, dreams also in him. And since my sister-in-law is more open to practice meditation and other, we are Christians, and they will do more praying, but it's the same. My brother is completely locked, and I see such a sufferance inside because he has not accepted the situation, and I don't know if he will ever accept. And I see in his eyes that he is suffering tremendously because his only child is there at home every day doing nothing else than smoking and eating. He's not capable of reading, of doing anything, and he cannot accept the situation. So through acceptance, we have to accept a situation that is not changeable. If we realize that there is something wrong, and if we can do something, then going through different options, well, I can do something. I can change this. I can change even my diet. I can change my lifestyle. I can add other things. I learn new things, whatever may be the attachment. Then it's perfectly fine. And even there are some steps. Then you have to realize that there is a problem, so awareness. You have to do something. You have to find what is suitable for you. And third, action, which is equally important, go for it, change it. But what when it's not the situation we cannot change? What to do with that situation? Acceptance. But again, acceptance, as I said, is that easy to accept? And how we can accept that situation? Sometimes there are circumstances also that we cannot change. But what to do? What to do? I'll give you my own experience. I had to accept two things in my life. And that was a very difficult, that was a very difficult process. I went through meditation and I was only meditating. And I asked the divine to give me the wisdom of acceptance. That was my way. Give me that wisdom and give me that power to accept the situation. Again, this is a process. I realized, again, through meditation, I realized that some situations may change when you change your view. When you see things from a different perspective, then it's like, I've never seen this. But that's a different perspective. The situation changes. Because we are focused on something that is unacceptable, that is unchangeable, but then you see something else that, yeah. And one thing that really helped me was to realize that in this lifetime, why are we here? To experience. For the experience. To experience, to grow, to evolve. And when when you really realize that, you say, yeah, maybe this happened to me, that I have to learn something so that I grow. And in this way, I grow, and I evolve as a soul, because I have a soul plan when I come here. And this was really something that made a switch. That was, I made really that was a change of perspective immensely when I realized that I'm here as a soul to make different experiences at different stages of my life, through different people, through different situations, through different whatever, maybe knowledge, sometimes not knowledge. Sometimes you have to forget everything, but to realize that everything is about learning, growing, and evolving as a soul. That was really the turning point in my view, and that helped me realize that, okay, there are things that I may change, and in a much easier way, and I'm much happier when we see from this perspective. I used to be the person who said, oh my God, why all this happened to me? And I believe at a certain point we all ask, why this happened to me? Why always happens to me? But then I change the question and I say, what do I have to learn from this? Not why this happened to me. I don't know why. And let's face it, who knows? Maybe some very awakened people, well, not me, not at my stage of evolution as a soul, but I just realized that it's not why happened to me, but rather what do I have to learn from this? What is this experience trying to teach me? And believe me, my friends, this was the turning point in being much more peaceful and seeing things from a different perspective. And it was like an awakening. It was like a beam of light that came into my perspective, into my view, into my life, into my heart. And I said, yeah, let me think, what do I have to learn? What is it that I need to learn for my soul to grow and evolve? Because therefore I'm here. Of course, we have different roles, we take different roles. We are mothers, we are professionals, we are housewives, we are whatever. And you all are, everyone in their work, you are professionals, you studied, or you've done some kind of, you have a technical background, or whatever. But there is something that I didn't find in any country, in any culture. We learn all these things, and we learn how to be a mother, but no education system teaches us how to navigate through life. Who and where we got the teaching how to manage our emotions, how to eat healthy, well, now maybe more and more, and how to have discipline in life. So when life strikes and you are down there, of course you have family, you have some of you. I didn't. My parents passed away a long time ago, and the circumstances made that way that I had to raise myself, and then to say, well, now I have to continue. I don't know where did I get the strength from, but anyway, I got it. So that's something that I always wondered, why any education system, nobody is teaching you how to deal with your emotions, how to deal with your mind. With your mind, when your mind is like all over the place. I have so many students and so many people around and friends saying that my mind is all over the place. I put myself in bed and it's like a jumping monkey, moving from one topic to another, especially people working with a computer in front of or other professionals and everyone, almost everyone. Like, how can I calm my mind? How can I get that peace inside? Who is teaching? Well, I learned that also through meditation. So if I go every time back and back again and again to this fantastic practice, which is meditation, and here and PSSM teaching Anapanasati meditation. Anapanasati meditation, which is precisely what Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, an American gentleman, took it from Asia and implemented it in his practices to calm down pain, to accept, and again we come to acceptance, to accept its pain, because he was a doctor, well, among other, I don't remember exactly what, but he ran a clinic of chronic pain. So chronic pain, you will always have that pain there. And he was always thinking, how can I help these people accept their pain? Because pain will always, there is no cure. And they have to administer them, to give them morphine or whatever. But then you get accustomed to that, and it has no effect finally, maybe a little bit. And they have terrible pain. I visited 2 clinics, and they have to live with that pain. And that gentleman, who was extremely smart, who learned meditation I don't know where, I think in Nepal. And it was precisely breath meditation, which we call Anapanasati, and it is the oldest type, one of the oldest type of meditation. He implemented it in hospitals in the US. And now many clinics now are taking also this practice, also in Europe. They call it mindfulness meditation, that it's being mindful. And it helped patients to accept their pain. And accepting the pain, well, it's not an easy process, but it's not impossible. You get that acceptance, and then it eases. They feel, that's what they say, after a couple of weeks of practice, they say that the simple fact of accepting, it makes them feel much better. And it's like taking a step back. That's the pain, and that's what I call detachment, that you accept it. And also, there are stages in meditation where you are detaching from your emotion, and the emotion, you process the emotion. You have to let it come through. You have to process it. You have to let it go. But coming back and again to the same thought, and that the thought triggering that emotion, and feeding it every time, that's the attachment. When you manage to, after having processed that emotion, letting it really even consume you, letting it manifest, because the emotion is not there for nothing. Okay, let it go, let it through. And then little by little, you see what happened that generated that emotion. You see it like on a screen. And you remember everything, and you don't feel anything. It's just there. And then it becomes wisdom. I experienced that myself. And if I'm talking, it's just about this, is because I'm convinced. About, I had a couple of experiences extremely painful, where I was consumed by emotion and pain and sorrow and whatever, many months, even some for some of them years, it stayed there. But then little by little, I realized that, again, that was my cure, meditation. Through meditation, I help, and there are some mechanisms where I manage to be myself, to review and to rewire some, no, not rewire, to review what happened. And then I said, at a certain point, I didn't feel anything. It was just a remembrance. And then you know that you are cured of that emotion. And then you know that detachment has been done. You are completely detached. The emotion is not anymore there, because emotion is an energy in motion. It comes. Emotions are our friends. They are not there for nothing. But they are not there with this don't necessarily mean that we have to keep them there and let them come again and again and make us suffer. There are mechanisms where we realize that the detachment has been done. You see the scene, you see what happened, you realize, you even see the details. It's like in a movie, and you don't feel anything. And then you said, wow, that's wisdom. What do I have to learn? Well, everyone has something to learn from you. So that's the way it is. So I come back again and again to my dearest master, and to other masters. There are so many that are practicing meditation. So I highly encourage you, continue. And the very young ones, you, the very young one, I hope you will start the meditation And this, really? So you're already a master? Fantastic. Fantastic. Because kids are amazing. Kids are like God. It's like immediately they are in the meditation. So wonderful. So meditation, and please, I'm really glad to see all of you here, and I'm really glad to have you here and to see your smiling faces, and I'm grateful to really to be able to talk to you, to communicate with you, and please, please, please get your families here, even your children. They might not like, they just come around, but then they pick it up. And maybe not now. I've seen in the UK many Indian background people born there, and their kids nowadays, because they've seen their parents meditating and going to satsang or practicing. Nowadays they have that feeling of belonging, and they go into the meditation more and more. And this is the most important thing, to get very young people to meditate, because the way the world runs, I don't think there is something else to do than meditation, which is fantastic, which is free of charge. Also, thank you so much.